Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Music Village. And now it's time for us to go into a new part of the show that'll be a 2-week parter, and we may do again in the near future, we don't know folks, which is going to be called the Midweek Pay-Per-View, which comes from none other than NXT with the return after well over 12 years edition of the Great American Bash. And I know the maestro's over there in the corner saying technically it was around in 2012 for SmackDown's presentation of it, but we're counting the actual pay-per-view that took place, which was in 2008. And we're not counting the 2009 version, which was just called The Bash. Because, that was not the Great American Bash. My sister said it wasn't, and I'm agreeing along with her. So it's been 12 years since the last time we had a pay-per-view version of this said pay-per-view, which is a breath of fresh air. And to kick it off, ladies and gentlemen, not only we would have clips of the old school Great American Bash, but also pyrotechnics to truly get fireworks started for the first match of the night, which would be a fatal four-way match for the #1 contendership for the Women's Championship of NXT, which would see none other than Mia Yim going one-on-one against Tegan Nox, Candice LeRae, and Team Kick's own Dakota Kai. And during this match, action will go back and forth, including Mia Yim getting put in a nasty German suplex from the second rope from Candice LeRae for a near fall, only for Candice LeRae to suffer the wrath of not only a career-ending suplex with the help of not only Tegan Nox, but also of Mia Yim teaming up to get Team Kick's leader to pin and squash poor Candice LeRae, and after that she would suffer the wrath of a cold breaker for Candice LeRae to get eliminated. Then all of a sudden we would move forward into this match with a cold blue to Dakota Kai for a near fall, and then a soul food to Tegan Nox by Mia Yim, only for Dakota Kai to come from out of nowhere with an Akana roll with a bridge on top for her to get eliminated. And her meaning Mia Yim, for the two rivals to face off against each other for the #1 contendership, seeing Tegan Nox pulling off a beautiful Hoovy driver for a near fall, and even Tegan Nox responding back with not only a crucifix pin off the miss of the shiniest wizard, leading directly into that modified version of the Rings of Saturn for Tegan Nox to reverse that into a pinfall. Then finally this match would come to an emphatic end in the shiniest form known possible, with Tegan Nox hitting a beautiful headbutt, Molly go round, and directly into the shiniest of wizards for her to become the new #1 contender to Io Shirai's NXT Women's Championship via pinfall. And immediately after the match was over, and we might as well fast forward to later on tonight, you would not only see Johnny Gargano complaining about the fact that Candice LeRae was in a fatal four-way match, but it felt like a handicap match with everybody coming after her, only for her to get in a fight backstage once again with Mia Yim. And both of them would try to take each other out, only for Isaiah Swerve Scott to get involved and for him to get in a back and forth altercation with Johnny Gargano for a no disqualification match to be made next week for part 2 or night 2 of the Great American Bash between Mia Yim and Candice LeRae, hopefully ending the issues that they already have. And speaking of people with issues with other people, Damian Priest would end up calling out Cameron Grimes after the past 2 weeks of attacks of not only slashing his tires, but also attacking him in the parking lot, only for Cameron Grimes to respond back by saying, "He's in my rearview mirror, daddy. I'm gonna go make my way to that #1 contender spot for whoever goes out of that winner takes all match, cause I'm on top." Now, granted, that's not how Cameron Grimes talks, but for some strange reason, I think of the Colonel Sanders whenever I see him by the way he acts. I don't know why. I really don't know why, but I really do. And it also reminds me of Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia doing his southern accent the day when they tried to sell gas during that one episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. If you haven't seen the episode, it's hilarious. Moving on. And after that little bit of a back and forth confrontation between Cameron Grimes and between Damian Priest that took place in different parts of the night, next thing you know, speaking of time, you would hear Killer Kross not only giving yet another warning to Adam Cole and to whoever wins that winner takes all match, telling him that it's not the time that you put in, but it's the time that you take out, only for the card of judgment to appear out of Scarlett Bordeaux's deck for somebody to get dive bombed on their head after that match takes place next week for the Great American Bash. And I got a feeling the second someone's hand gets count for that 1, 2, 3, the celebration is not going to be long and Kross is going to be waiting right in the darkness for whoever wins that match. Mark my words, folks. Mark my words. And the next match to take place on NXT, besides all the things that happened backstage, would be between none other than Oney Lorcan going one-on-one against the leader of the Thatch Can wrestling style of Timothy Thatcher. And during this match, Oney Lorcan would get a first-hand lesson of the Thatch Can wrestling style. Because despite both of these men getting in an old-fashioned slugfest from Budapest, with uppercuts being shared back and forth, and not to mention Oney Lorcan hitting a nasty set of chops, but after Timothy Thatcher would try to do a sugar hook or a sugar cane lock during this match that Oney Lorcan would try to reverse with a fish hook, Timothy Thatcher would take advantage of that and go immediately for his usual armbar during this match to win this match in incredible fashion via submission. Now, granted, during this match as well, which we almost forgot to mention, you would also see Oney Lorcan hitting a nasty half-and-half suplex, and even Timothy Thatcher doing a beautiful version of a German suplex during this match, sending Oney Lorcan through a loop. Yeah, it was a hard-hitting contest that we completely forgot to include with the ending at the end, but let's just say there was so much hard-hitting action, we didn't know how to call this match anything but awesome. And the next match to take place on this said NXT pay-per-view would see Rhea Ripley going one-on-one against, or should I say, 2-on-1 against Aaliyah and Robert Stone in a handicap match. And during this match, Rhea Ripley, who was already laughing to begin with Robert Stone's ridiculous NBA 98 outfit, wearing goggles and a mouthpiece, and sort of reminding me of Charles Barkley with that outfit, or was it Muggsy Bogues who wore that outfit? Either or, anyway, would it help him during this match? Absolutely not, because Robert Stone would get his chest lit up by Rhea Ripley during this match with a nasty chop, and Aaliyah at every moment while Robert Stone tried to distract her would try to pull off a crucifix head scissors, would actually connect with it right directly into a boot wash, but unfortunately the second time she tried to go for that makeshift crucifix head scissors, she would get captured and put in a modified version of the electric chair drop for a near fall, only for Robert Stone to break it up. And this match would come to an end again when Rhea Ripley finally had enough of playing around with these two stooges and decided to put them both in a prism trap for both of them to tap out relentlessly to the nightmare of NXT via submission. And the fact that she had that much strength to put both of them in prism traps is absolutely insane. But after that match was over, they would say, oh, we didn't want her in the Robert Stone brand anyway. It's a very exclusive brand that only Aaliyah could be a part of. Right. And the next match to take place during this midweek pay-per-view that was no laughing matter, folks, would see none other than Roderick Strong going one-on-one against Dexter Lumis in the NXT's first ever strap match. And the last time, technically, that there was a strap match at the Great American Bash would be JBL going one-on-one against Eddie Guerrero in a Texas bull rope match that was used like a strap. So yeah, that's the technicality they're going with. And I think the real last strap match that would take place at pay-per-view, and I could be wrong with this, folks, was around the time for JTG going one-on-one against Shad Gaspar at Extreme Rules. Now, once again, I could be wrong with that factoid, but besides the factoids that they were dropping during this match, just like I am, this match went back and forth with Roderick Strong trying everything in his power to resist the fear of Dexter Lumis by beating the crap out of him before the match could start, only for Dexter Lumis to gain the upper hand and to even put the strap on his hand to commence the beating of one Roderick Strong during this match, by not only using the strap to clothesline him, but also use the strap to prevent him from doing a superplex on the top rope and hit him with a modified throat thrust like Kane would. Then this fight would take place all the way up the ramp, where Roderick Strong would meet his second nightmare in life, a trunk of a Dodge Viper, only for him to fight back with kicks to the face and even an angle slam on the ramp when they were heading back toward the ring. Amidst all the kicks that Roderick Strong was doing to Dexter Lumis during this match. And you would even see none other than Bobby Fish getting involved in this match as well, but paying for it, not only getting clotheslined by the strap, but knocked off the apron for Dexter Lumis to do his Uranagi directly into his silence lock for him to win this match via submission. And my God, the fear on the face of Roderick Strong while that move was applied before he went to sleep tells you a lot about the psyche in this match. And the next match and the main event of night one would see none other than the NXT Women's Champion, the Queen of the Sky, Io Shirai, going one-on-one against one half of the Tag Team Champion of the Women's Division, Sasha Banks, with Bayley in tow, in a contest that wasn't for the NXT Championship of the Women's Division like I thought. But during this match, what made it feel like a championship contest would not only see Io Shirai pulling off a beautiful, and I do mean beautiful, modified kick to the back of the head of Sasha Banks, and even a missile drop kick from upstairs, would also see her countering Sasha Banks' armbar directly into a double knee shot to the face and into a crucifix head scissors, leading into a beautiful suicida to the outside of the ring, cross body style. But in the later goings of this match, to regain the advantage during it, Bayley would interfere during this contest by not only honking the horn, giving Sasha Banks enough of an opportunity to hit a Meteora for a near fall during this match, but would also see Io Shirai getting caught in the sky and on the top rope, more or less, with a high roundhouse kick and a disgusting power bomb into the plexiglass, then to the floor by Sasha Banks, only for Sasha Banks to get a little bit too confident and froggy during this match by missing a frog splash, leading directly into a crossface for Bayley to once again interfere during this match by throwing the Women's Tag Team Championship title into the ring. While the referee was distracted during this whole hoopla that Bayley caused, she would hit Io Shirai in the face for Banks to get a near fall during that hit. Then the referee, who would still be distracted with that championship, would see Sasha Banks fighting over the other women's championship, only for her to get in a tug-of-war with a mystery person in the form of Asuka coming from underneath the ring and spraying green mist in the face of Sasha Banks, only for Io Shirai to take advantage with a roll-up for a near fall, but to finally put the blueprint to rest with a little bit of a high-angle moonsault for her to get pinned in the center of the ring, and for Io Shirai to truly live up to the title of Queen of the Sky by winning this match with a little help from her former tag team partner in New Japan via pinfall. And for the fireworks to go off, and for none other than Asuka to dance on stage, or dance alongside of her former tag team partner, to close out night one of the Great American Bash. And I got a feeling this whole thing between Asuka and Sasha Banks leading into the Extreme Rules pay-per-view is far from over after what she did, costing her that match against Io Shirai. But then again, it proves that cheaters never prosper, unless you're using green mist. But I digress, because now it's time for us to head back to that music, and when we return, we'll be back with another edition of the Friday Night Greenlight right after this. So don't wear your horns out in traffic just yet, folks, and stay tuned.